Welcome to another Charge Attack podcast in the new line of Charge Attack podcasts, where we're going to try and do things a little bit speedier, a little bit quicker, get news out to you faster.
Short and snappy.
Short and snappy, so you don't have to listen to us as much. Hope you've all had a lovely couple of weeks while we've been away.
We had a hiatus.
We had a busy week. This is not keeping it short and sweet. So we'll get straight into the things. So we've got a lot of Pokemon news that's happened in the past couple of weeks. Obviously, some new Pokemon have been announced and whatnot. Luke will take you through that. First thing I have to take you through, though, is Pokemon merchandise. If you are somebody that likes your Pokemon merchandise, which I very much do, my mother will tell you how much I love Pokemon merchandise and how she forces me to put all of my stuff away in my attic and forces me to live a normal life. And you live in the UK, we don't actually have any Pokemon merchandise official shops here, but we are getting a pop-up event coming to London in one of the big massive malls. And this is going to be going on from the 18th of October to the 15th of November. There will be exclusive London merch, so it'll probably be Pikachu dressed up as one of the Queen's guards, or maybe even Pikachu dressed up as the Queen.
Wearing a flag.
I mean, cool. It's something that I'm going to probably go to. You don't get it very often in the UK, so...
No, it's the first I've ever heard of it, so I'm in there.
I don't mind going up to London for it. So that seems like something that's quite fun.
We'll have to do a vlog.
Oh my god! No, that's when we'd really lose any viewer retention, wouldn't we? What have you got on Pokemon?
We've got a bit about the new Gala forms. They've released a few alternatives that are coming up, and these look awesome. So far, we have seen Gala form Weezing. With this massive, almost like top hat or like chimney stack.
Proper sort of British
industrial, which makes perfect sense with being like a smog Pokemon. Awesome looking at that one. And there was also alternative forms for Linoon and Linoon, whatever his name is, and
Zigzagoon. And then he's actually also been given a new evolution.
Yes, an alternative evolution form or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I thought looked like Zangoose had a new thing at first. Yeah. But no, it's actually still part of the original tree.
And Zigzagoon in his black, so he's black and white. He does just look like a punk rock star,
like a jailbird.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. Next on the Pokemon list is Pokemon cards. Now, if you are somebody that collects Pokemon cards, then you probably already know this sort of juicy information. But recently, at auction, a Pokemon card first edition collection was sold for $107,010. That is way too much of a tongue twister for me. This obviously included all of the cards were in mint condition. 10 out of 10 rating, all PSA rating. They had a shadowless base Charizard in there, which is just, there's only like 50 of those in the world. And there was a Pikachu with red cheeks as well. It's just cards that you just never even see become available for sale.
Pikachu with red cheeks?
Yeah. Basically like in the old cards that like they dulled them down.
Right.
It's something that if you want to look at it, well, look at it yourself. There's no point. I'm not even going to try and describe a picture of how cheeks can be. It's like Shadowless. The way Shadowless works is that on the Charizard is that the box around where it shows the Pokemon's window is they only implemented a shadow after a few premium packs were already printed, so they've then printed a shadow underneath, and then since then obviously all subsequent cards then had a shadow,
making the other ones brown.
So then the shadowless ones then become
you wouldn't think that would add value, just that, but like spelling mistakes on these cards, they make them worth thousands. It's just
there's I really want to get myself a Shining Tyranitar card, and that's got a spelling error in it. Every time I see one I was like, is that a fake card? I can't tell. I don't know.
If it's really expensive, probably not.
Yeah.
So next, last bit about the Pokemon, which I only heard about, but I have been informed now that it has been a thing before, is that in the Gala region, there's going to be back with Pokemon jobs.
Yeah.
So you can send your box Pokemon off to do stuff. The more Pokemon you send off, you get better rewards, apparently.
Yeah.
And there are certain jobs suited to different types of Pokemon.
So a little bit more in depth to what was originally in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Sun and Moon, is where all your Pokemon went on the island, and you could send them off to find berries and stones and useful items and gain XP. they're bringing it back, and they've sounded like they've developed on it a
I
little
think
bit.
they might have given him an actual job to do rather than
actual
just
job
go
role.
find shit. Yeah.
I mean, you can't blame them on that. Weird news that happened last week is that a gentleman that was a massive PS4 lover, and he was also a Breath of the Wild lover, saw the reveal for Genshin Impact, or the trailer for it, and the game is very much stylized in Breath of the Wild style, which is fine. Like, this is the whole point. Games can take the art style from each other. It's not a like-for-like game. Like, there is definitely a lot of similarities you can see in it. You've got to go and watch the trailer. But basically, this guy saw this at advert, and because he was such a massive Breath of the Wild fan, he smashed up his PS4 in rage, because he was just sort of like, how can they rip off Breath of the Wild, and how can they rip off Zelda like this? The problem is that's gained so much traction and so much knowledge that everyone now has gone and seen Genshin Impact.
He's fueling the fire that he hates so much.
So now everyone's seen it, and the game, don't get me wrong, it is stylized like Zelda, but I think Zelda looks beautiful, so I'm glad to see another style. It's all good. More games, the better. And it's got a real proper anime vibe to it, and all the moves are, like, the combat is a lot different, and it's way different from Breath of the Wild, but it's just all the art style and everything, and like some of the creatures and like the health bars all look very similar, so you can see why someone would get upset, but it still looks cool.
If you're gonna do a rip, make it a good rip. And
Yeah.
what I've seen, I'm intrigued by this.
Yeah.
Going away from games themselves, going more close to with companies themselves, the main three, Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft, are now to have to disclose the odds on their paid loot boxes. So how likely people are to get the high-end loot when they make these purchases.
Hopefully it will discourage kids from buying loot boxes, but I can't see it working really, because let's be honest, if it's a kid, they don't really care about percentage chances, and the parents haven't really explained to them why they shouldn't do it.
Exactly.
I mean, we all take the mick out of kids and stuff, and for spending money on loot boxes, but let's be honest, the real big pains in the ass is the adults with the lots of money that do it, isn't it?
Exactly.
They're the ones that fuel it.
People who do have a basic concept of percentages will then probably be like, oh, I want that one thing from this one box, and there is a 0.1% chance I'll get it. I'm not going to bother anymore.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll decrease, and it'll help push companies to stop enforcing it. EA, we're looking at you.
Yep.
I highly doubt they will, because they'll still make too much money off of them. And there's nothing else really that you can say on it. It's a good step. It's a step in the right direction.
If we see a decrease in loot boxes and an increase in microtransactions, then that's a half win, I'd say.
Yeah. I think like that's the better way. We've always discussed it, and we've said it on all of our prior podcasts as well. If you do want something, if I want a specific skin, give me the ability to buy it myself. Make their ones achievable in game. If I can choose and buy a skin, I'd much rather spend £10 and get what I want, rather than you turn around and go, I spend £10 and there's a chance you get it. Something that I'm not too proud about. The Halo Infinite creative director has left 343 Industries. His name is Tim Longo. He was doing a lot of work with Halo 5. Creative director, very big and influential, leaving this late in the stage. Obviously Halo Infinite, is meant to be coming in 2020, fall 2020. So, which is autumn for the civilized people of the world. It's one of those things. They're saying that they're having a leadership shake-up. They're saying that things are going differently. It seems like everybody's very calm about this. I get the feeling that it seems like it should have been bigger news than it was.
It doesn't do much of an uproar from when I saw the articles. It was like very just, oh, that's happened.
Yeah, which is a really sort of weird sort of situation. I was expecting something a little bit more.
I mean, someone tried to keep something a bit hush there.
Yeah, it's
maybe.
Either that, or chances are, as he's done all of his role, he's helped directed everything in the right direction. I mean, the moment that you've completed 90% of a game, it's very difficult. I find it very impressive if you manage to then deviate from the direction that you should be stylizing this in. I mean, they've said that they've been wanting to go back and do it in the original art style, which is great, and that's what everybody wants. So, if you're 90% of the way through creating the game, then maybe it's not so much of an issue of him leaving. I mean, I would like to hope that they're now on to completely just debugging it and making sure everything is crystal clean and working, rather than starting now on designing things.
Oh, could you imagine?
Could you imagine?
So, Death Stranding, the game that literally shook up everyone as a PlayStation exclusive, has now been delisted as an exclusive.
Yeah.
And rumored to be coming to PC. Still a console exclusive with the PlayStation, but not its only platform.
So will it be coming out, or have they announced that it will be coming out at the same time on PC?
I haven't actually had any really in terms of dates, but I reckon they'll push it on console first.
Yeah, it'll probably be a console first release, the same as usual, which is where everybody will want to go. I mean, it's quite cool that it's on PC, and PC get like all the mods and they'll mess around with it, and it'll be a completely different game anyway by the time they're finished with it.
They might make it a bit more normal. They might take out a weird
it might be able to help you make sense of it. It's a cool addition. I mean, I don't disagree and I don't agree with first party games. I understand it. It brings a reason to why you would choose your own individual console. And you sort of miss the fun of the console wars that you used to have back in the day of Xbox 360 and PS3.
It used to be so much bigger then, didn't it? Because there were so many more games that were exclusive.
But it's one of those things. It's great in a sense because it just basically means it's now more available to more people. But it can upset some people that are proper fanboys is the correct word.
Yeah, the die-hard fans that just stick to one console, which I don't understand people who are so cement to one, because you're just cutting off your own potentials then, aren't you?
Yeah. But Xbox have gone down a very similar route to this. So, but this is for like certain developers. So Xbox bought a load of first-party developers recently. I mean, over the past couple of years, they've bought a load.
Three they were.
So to basically make games just exclusively for Xbox. But what they are saying is that some of these studios that they've bought, they're saying that you can still sell some of your games to the other platforms, so like Switch and like PlayStation, which is really nice of them. The sort of reasoning behind it is they're basically saying is it depends on the game. So if it makes sense that it would go across all the platforms, then do it. I mean, all the money that they're going to make will still go back towards Xbox. So it's because they own it and whatnot. So it's good in that sense for them. And then it's good for their player base, because if their player base want to play it on PlayStation, or triple it, 2.5 it, because Switch is always causes a little bit of issues, doesn't it? So which is a really cool sort of idea. Obviously things like Gears of War and like Halo, anything like that, you're gonna be they're gonna be keeping exclusively just to Xbox. But Double Fine, for example, they could go ahead and they could make another game sort of like Brutal Legend 2, say for example, which is quite a cool game and I really enjoyed it. Brutal Legend 1, by the way. Brutal Legend 2, when they make it, I reckon will be quite a cool game. That would make sense to release it on all three platforms, because that's not something that's going to drive an Xbox sale. So you might as well push it onto the other consoles, get more sales and get more money that way.
Exactly.
What else have you got for us then?
Well, recent, we're going to Nintendo and Smash with the new recent releases of the new DLC characters. One of them has already been banned in certain communities.
Which DLC character is this?
It's the Dragon Quest recent DLCs.
Hero.
Yeah, new hero for that one. Only in certain communities have they banned it due to his abilities and sort of how he plays. This character is very much a sort of a chance base with random potential power-ups and things like that. A lot of people have found it that he's anti-competitive, as he's been worded.
Yeah.
And it's not a potentially fair sort of character to go up against, because he could 1 minute do massive damage, the next he might not.
Yeah.
But then again, that's part of the role of using a character, I suppose.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as he's been developed and created on the right sorts of levels. I mean, Game & Watch, whenever you play as them, he's got his side hammer. It can do 1 to 9 on the damage scale. Obviously, if you do 9, it does loads of damage. If you do 1, it does a lot less. So, but he's still sort of competition legal. I think it doesn't help because it is a new character. It hasn't been implemented well. I think when they're saying that it's not competition friendly, I think what they're trying to say there is that you're going to end up getting somebody that's going to be trying to cheap their way through a competition, less skill involved, which can end up just making a competition less fun if somebody's jumping about the map just trying to escape constantly and then just always trying to get cheap shots wherever they are. It's just unsportsmanship-like is probably the better way to put it, and it just doesn't make it as fun for a competition to watch. But it's something that I think that it's not going to be like... when it comes to the World Championships, someone like Hero should be made available, and if they are not made available, then that means that Smash Bros, when they've created it, and they did that character design, then they hadn't quite done it correctly, because that shouldn't be the case. Need for Speed Heat got announced.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. We haven't really got too strong of opinions.
It's a driving game.
It's a driving game, and like Need for Speed and again EA, it's got a reputation to fill. And it's not that the trailer's bad in any way. It's quite a fun trailer to watch, but it's not a gameplay trailer. So
it's a cinematic
the
trailer.
moment that you see it's a cinematic trailer, you know that the game's not going to be anything like it.
They did show a little bit of gameplay in it, and it really did sort of bring the trailer to a bit of a jolt.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would sort of describe it.
You
do just get this fast-flowing sort of movie. Like if they've chosen to release this around the same sort of time as Fast and Furious, the new one, Doug and Purdy, whatever he's called, the one with The Rock and Jason Statham. I'm not a big fan of the Fast and Furious films. I like my cars, but I just can't get into them. Fine if you do. This might be more your sort of thing. But from what they're just showing cops and cars again, and we need more than that. Show us a reason. Like, why do I want to be picking this game up? You've already done cops and cars. Like, there's got to be a more defining reason for you to go, okay, here's a new Need for Speed Heat. Otherwise, to me, it's just another FIFA game where exactly the same, where they just go, okay, here's the next year's game, few updated graphics, a couple of the players have changed teams, same game as last year.
Yeah, we're also on the Call of Duty cycle, aren't we? They'll just rehash it to something else slightly different, and then everyone will go for it.
Yeah. And that's literally it. So we're trying to do it a little bit faster now. Please give us feedback if you've managed to listen through all of this, and we can see what we can do to make improvements.
Yeah, I think we did too long before, weren't we?
Wow. I mean, it's either or. We could sit here and we could moan for hours about just EA. Well, I could.
Bastards.
Well, have a lovely day, and we hopefully will be back on again next week.